You are the solution to all the world's problems, at least part of the solution, a crucial part of the solution, which only you can fill. And we want to help very often, but we don't know how. And the way we find out how to be helpful is by listening to our intuition, like our inner sense of knowing. Like, I want to, learn cooking. I want to do this thing or that thing. And those intuitions, very often, we don't take them, we ignore them very often. We think they're not important. But we neglect them. When we neglect them, essentially, we're neglecting what our own soul, for lack of a better word, is trying to convey to us. So I started this channel about a year and a half ago or something like that. And I haven't, I posted a few videos, and then I didn't post anything for at least a year. And here's why, basically. So when I started that channel, it was because my intuition was telling me to start a channel with basically one message, which was follow your own intuition, because the world needs you to be the best version of yourself, because we need all the help we can get right now, essentially. So dare to be yourself, listen to yourself, listen to your heart, and be who you're meant to be. Okay. So that was the general idea. But as I was making these videos, I was in a very bad place, right? In terms of the money. Right, I was losing my apartment. In fact, I had lost my apartment. And my rational mind was telling me, well, it's all good to follow your intuition, but you're sleeping in your friend's guest room, this room here. In fact, same room. And how are you going to pay the rent? How are you going to pay the bills? You need to find a way to monetize all these things, and the mental means well. And those are all valid questions. So I thought, well, I will build a program. I will build a coaching program, because because I have been stopped in the street by people asking. I mean, you're walking on the street and people want to speak to you and tell you their story, and so I had helped people, and I had gotten impressions, like signs, if you like, that could be helpful that way. And, completely frank, based on what you see online, there is good money to be made, right? So money is taboo in this culture, but everything revolves around it, right? So yeah, okay. So I'll do a coaching program, and I'll help people, but that was the mind interfering, basically. And I do offer a coaching service. You can definitely write to me. I'll put the link in the description, like email, and we'll figure out if I can help you. But the crucial thing is that I tried to do that, but I was coming from a place of panic. And when you do that, it doesn't work. And, I lost another apartment and I ended up back here. And I ended up telling you the same thing, which is my intuition. Intuition is telling you to listen to your own intuition, because the world desperately needs it. And I think there's teachable moment here. Certainly it was for me, which is, there's a lot of talk about law of attraction and stuff like that. And there is this idea that once you do what you're meant to do, that everything kind of falls into place. And that is true. I think it's definitely true after a fashion. And it's definitely true that there is an inner realignment that will help the world send you good things, and help with, the money and the rent and the love life and all these things. But it does so. It does so on its own terms. You can't cheat it. You can't fake it till you make it. That does not work. And you have to accept the fear and uncertainty of what it means, like, to listen to your intuition. I mean, like, a part of it is that. A part of it is accepting that when the inevitable question arises, which is, yeah, but how will I pay the rent? Well, sometimes the answer is, I don't know. And sometimes the answer is, well, you might lose your apartment twice. But part of the lesson here was that I went through these ordeals and a few more in the previous years, precisely because I had not listened to my intuition. And I am confident now that had I learned earlier to fully trust, I would have gone through a much, much easier time than the hellish ordeals I went through in the last 10 years. Because, yeah, the mental is designed to keep you safe, but it was designed to keep you safe like 50,000 years ago, when we were being chased by tigers and we had to figure out, which berry was poisonous, right? So we have that level of logic and mental acuity by default. Be wary of cracks in the bushes, and beware of the red berries, that level. So, and that the mental is essentially designed for that, and it can do a lot more. You can train it with logic and stuff like that. But it doesn't replace the intuition, and for the level of problems we have and the level of complexity we have right now, it doesn't really work, ultimately. It certainly doesn't work if you're at the level where you're having those life crises, And I think because the world is collapsing and the planet and humanity are on the verge of dying, this is the truth. We're very close. But I am confident, and I would dare say that I know deep down that we'll be okay, even though we have very hard times ahead. We're in them already, in fact. It started, but it's about to get worse. But we can make the bad times shorter, and we can help with getting out of the bad times and recovery and helping other people during all this terrible period of death and rebirth, metaphorically. Well, we can only do that really by listening to our intuition, which is connected to the deepest, truths and realities, and which sends us these signals precisely because it knows what the world needs. And as I said, we each have our part to play, and the mental doesn't know. Can kind of figure out some stuff. I write stories and music, and I have my other YouTube channels where I talk about stuff that interests me. But yeah, that's it. I can see yeah, science fiction, philosophy. For me, because that's that. For me, my interest, I can see where they might be helpful, but I don't have access to the big picture. Mentally, no one has access to the big picture, even though some people think they do, but be wary of these people. So I'm calling out to you to help us all to listen to that part of you that tells you, yeah, whatever it is, it's a good thing. I mean, it never comes from a place of fear or, you know, even hate or stuff like that. I mean, which are emotions that exist. I mean, I'm not even condemning those emotions. I'm just saying that the solution that will come in you will be from a place of peace and love and all these things, you know. And it will probably be something very soft and smooth, like, yeah, write that novel, learn to play the flute or whatever, or get a driver's license. Can be something like that, you know. Like, yeah, I should do that. I should do that. That's your intuition guiding you. And, you know, life is well made. Life is good, you know. So if you do that, and you're striving to be the, as I said, the best version of yourself, which is what that means, well, naturally you will be taken care of. I mean, that's just, you know, like I'm not a traditional Christian by any sense of the word, even though my name is Christian, right? But the whole, you will be taken care of. Don't ask where the food will come from. It will come, you know. That's the way it's going to be. You know, you will find the unexpected contract. You will be helped and guided, because life is good and life is well, you know, it's well organized. And by what? Who cares, really? It doesn't matter. Like, what matters right now is we have our own part to play, and we need to play it. And not the dogmas, not the explanations, not the why and the... So yeah. So it's scary, and there are no guarantees in advance that everything will always be easy and smooth sailing. But that insecurity is the price to pay. And usually what you find is that you end up much more easily than you would suspect, and much more quickly than you would suspect, to a much easier place where your own, you know, contributions are finally you know, valued and worth something, and where you find yourself part of a, you know, helpful. Yeah, helpful. And we need all the help we can get. So go to it. See you soon. Take care. Hang in there. We'll make it. It'll be good.